My parents sided with my brother after he disrespected my wife. Years later, they begged me for help, but my cold answer shattered their hope. My brother Gabriel and I were never close. Growing up, he was the golden child. Better grades, better at sports, better at making our parents proud. I was just the older one who existed in his shadow. When I met Daniela in college, everything changed. She saw something in me nobody else did. We dated for 5 years before I decided to propose. I planned everything perfectly. Thanksgiving dinner at my parents' house. Both families together. The ring hidden in my jacket pocket. Gabriel knew about the proposal. I made the mistake of telling him 2 weeks earlier because I thought we'd finally gotten past our issues. We were adults now, or so I believed. That night while I was in the kitchen helping my mom with dessert, Daniela came to find me. Her hands were shaking. Her face was pale. She pulled me into the hallway and whispered that Gabriel had cornered her in the study. Told her she was wasting her time with me. Said he could give her the life she actually deserved. Then he tried to kiss her. I found him in the living room laughing with my dad like nothing happened. I didn't yell. I walked up to him calmly and asked him to step outside. He smirked and said whatever I had to say I could say in front of everyone, so I did. I told the entire room what he'd done, every detail. My mom dropped her wine glass. My dad just stared. Daniela was crying behind me. Gabrielle called her a liar. Said she came on to him and he rejected her. Said she was making up stories because she was embarrassed. My father looked at Daniela, then at Gabriel, then at me. He told me I was causing a scene and ruining Thanksgiving over nothing. My mother said Gabriel would never do something like that I was always jealous of him, and this was just another attempt to make him look bad. I looked at Daniela. She nodded. We grabbed our coats and left. I proposed to her that night in our tiny apartment. No fancy dinner, no family, just us. She said yes before I finished the question. We got married 6 months later. My parents weren't invited. Neither was Gabriel. 4 years passed. I built a career in finance. Daniela and I bought a house, had a daughter named Natalie. Life was good because we'd cut out everyone who refused to believe us. Then 3 months ago, my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. It was my mother, crying so hard I could barely understand her. She said my father had a stroke. He was in the ICU. The doctors weren't sure he'd make it through the night. She begged me to come to the hospital. Part of me wanted to hang up, but Daniela convinced me to go. Not for them, for myself, for closure. When I walked into that waiting room, my mother looked 20 years older. She grabbed my hands and thanked me for coming. Said she knew they'd made mistakes. Said she was sorry about everything. Then she asked if I could help with something. My father's company was in trouble. Before the stroke, he'd been dealing with a major financial crisis. Someone had been embezzling money for over 2 years. Nearly $400,000 gone. The board was threatening legal action. The stress is what triggered the stroke. She said they'd just discovered who did it. Gabriel. He'd been working at my father's company for 3 years. Given a position he never earned. Trusted with access he never deserved. And he'd been stealing from them the entire time. My mother said they needed someone with financial expertise to help them trace the money. Build a case. Save what was left of the company before the board destroyed everything my father spent 40 years building. She looked at me with tears streaming down her face and said I was the only one who could help him. I sat there for a long moment, thinking about Thanksgiving, about Daniela shaking in that hallway, about my father choosing Gabriel over the truth, about my mother calling the woman I love a liar. I thought about every birthday and holiday we spent alone because they picked him. Then I thought about Natalie, 3 years old. She'd never met her grandparents because they decided their golden child mattered more than the truth. I stood up. My mother grabbed my arm. Please, we're family. I looked down at her and said something I'd been holding inside for 4 years. You chose your son that night. You chose wrong. Now you get to live with what he did to you. She started sobbing, asking how I could be so cold, saying my father might die and this is how I treat them. I told her my father made his choice. So did she. Gabriel was their problem now, not mine. I walked out of that hospital and never looked back. 2 weeks later, I heard my father survived, but the company didn't. The board filed charges. Gabriel disappeared with whatever money he had left. My parents lost their house trying to cover the debts. Last month, my mother sent a letter to our address. I don't know how she found it. Inside was a photo of me and Gabriel as kids. On the back, she'd written, "I'm sorry I failed you both." Daniela asked if I was going to respond. I just put the letter in a drawer and closed it.